First of all, I'd like to offer my condolences to everyone affected by the massacre in Christchurch last week. It is a tragedy of unspeakable proportion, and there really are no adequate words to express the magnitude of the seriousness of what happened. So rather than thoughts and prayers, we'll continue to just do the work to improve equality of opportunity in the hope that that leads to an environment where this is less and less likely to happen. I think if anything is to come of the discussions that have surfaced in the last week and people's attitudes, it is that we need to allay people's fears across the board, that scared people do all manner of unpredictable things. And it doesn't matter if your fear is rooted in fact or has been whipped up out of sentiment. People who are scared, people who believe there's nothing for them, people who believe there's no way forward are capable of crazy things. And as much as egging someone who has vile opinions seems like a feel-good thing to do, it's actually not the way forward. Egg Boy is doing the adolescent version of a physical sort of comeback for not being happy with the way things are. We can't really encourage that. Personally, watching someone like Fraser Anning get an egg to the head, for a moment you have a bit of a chuckle, but when I reflect on it, I think this guy holds public office. And in fact, instead of a petition to get rid of him that's got 1 million signatures on it, we actually should just not vote people in like that in the first place. And they get voted in because we vote for parties like One Nation, we vote for parties like the Coalition, the Nationals and the Liberal Party, parties that build their platform on divisive, fear-mongering, race-baiting, dog-whistling tactics which lead to people being afraid, people being uncertain, people not trusting the future is going to be okay, and then pointing the finger at minority groups or other groups or just anyone who is the other in order to get some kind of agency over their future by fighting against someone else or denying somebody else opportunities that they think must come at the expense of their opportunities. They're real fears. People who agree with Fraser Anning, they have real fears. They have real concerns. Whether the concerns are based in fact or fear is inconsequential if they have those concerns and they act in those kinds of ways. We need to find better ways to understand why they have those fears and how to walk them out of those fears into a space that is more conducive to an environment of equality of opportunity, looking after one another, and building a community Australia-wide, all the way down to just within family units where everyone feels supported and that they have the chance to get out and make the most of all the wonderful things that we have going on in this country. We can stand on one side of the aisle and we can yell at people like Fraser Anning and say he's an idiot and he's disgusting and he's wrong, and I would agree with probably all of those sentiments, but it doesn't change anything, and if anything they just dig their heels in, and there are people that agree with him. If we want people to disagree, if we want people to understand the experiences of others, we need to take the time also to understand the experiences of those scared people, those people who have anxieties, those people who are worried about the future, who maybe express that or pointed it in the wrong direction. I hope that going forward from here, the seriousness of firing up that kind of prejudice is apparent. It's not a game. People are genuinely concerned. People's concerns are mostly rooted in fear and not in fact. And this whipping up of people against the other in any direction never leads to a cohesive and supportive community. And that's what we need. And Australia in general does a fantastic job of it. But we've got to make an effort to bring everybody along, whatever their background, whatever their religion or creed or race or country of origin or whatever their socioeconomic situation. We need to ensure that people are provided for and they feel like they're provided for. We need to ensure that people feel like they have somewhere to go, that they have agency over their life, that their lives aren't being ruined by some smaller, more disadvantaged minority at which they can point the finger and say, if it wasn't for you, I'd have more. Because that's absolutely not the case. rather than making a hero of a guy who just threw an egg and focusing on the meme that is this caricature of all the worst things in Parliament that is Fraser Anning, and this very adolescent outburst of just, well, throw an egg at him. We need to take a step back and say, hang on a minute, the government is responsible for as much of this kind of talk as anybody else. That they set the tone in their policies and in the way that they present to the public and in what they talk about and what they focus on and who they choose to blame. That not everyone agrees that Fraser Anning is wrong, which to me, of course, seems crazy. But in reality, it means we have more work to do to understand their concerns, that we have to bring them along. We live in a democracy, we have a chance to vote for these people. We have a chance to vote for people that are good. We get to vote with our dollars and not spend it on stupid things like Andrew Bolt. We get to vote with our eyeballs and not watch, trash all the time. And we can watch and encourage people to program for people of substance. We can take more time to ingest our news. We can take more time to assess facts. We can take more time to just talk to one another and understand what people are worried about and try and walk people to a better place, to a place of understanding. We have that privilege here in Australia. It is one of the great, great privileges that we have. Keep on listening. Keep on looking after one another. And as always, just be nice. Don't vote for One Nation, the Nationals, or the Liberal Party, Canberra.